Hey guys, Dr. Ryan here again. A patient asked me yesterday whether or not she should be putting her baby in a jolly jumper. She had heard that it's bad for them. And one of the things you have to take into consideration is the age of the child, because the answer is different in those circumstances. So if you think about it, a baby spends 9 months in utero, floating around inside the mother. Once born, their motor system has to learn to interact with the outside world, including things like gravity. Gravity is a force that comes straight down and it's never changing, something that never goes away. What a jolly jumper does is it takes a baby who typically is in a horizontal position because they can't stand yet and puts them into a vertical position so that gravity is now coming down on their body in this direction. And one of the things we want to be able to talk about is that creating damage? Well, the first thing you have to look at and understand is how that spine develops. So when a baby's first born, the spine is basically in a C position like this. But that's not how it ends up. A normal spine, a spine from the front should be straight up and down. Okay? These would be the pelvic bones, the hip joints come out from here, the skull sits on top. From the front, it's straight up and down. But from the side, a normal spine ends up having these very important curves. So there's a curve in the neck, a curve in the curve in the mid back, and a curve in the low back. The curve in the neck, that neck curve develops as the baby has some tummy time and gets all of the muscle training and proprioceptive training to hold their head into that upright position. The curve in the lower back, that doesn't develop until a baby starts to learn to crawl and then is able to sit on their own without supports. A lot of times moms or dads are using a jolly jumper before that happens, and when that happens, that's where the damage can occur. So you have to think about it. Think of a child's struggle to stand up or to crawl or to sit upright. They don't yet have the muscles, the ligaments, or even the spinal shape to be able to do that. These activities all load the bones, the connective tissues, especially when done in non-supportive environments. So the more of their own body weight the child has to support, the stronger they'll become. Supportive devices are just that. They're support, and they decrease the stimulus on the bones, the muscles, and the nerves that the child needs in order to be able to develop correctly. It's just like if you went to the gym and you wanted to bench press 200 pounds, and you had two friends on either side lift it for you, even though you were in that position going through the range, you don't get any benefit from it because your body doesn't have to build or use its own muscles to do it. It's the same with putting a child into that vertical position beforehand. Now, moving around, struggling to sit up, and generally navigating their environment not only promotes muscle, bone, and growth, but also helps a baby develop their proprioceptive abilities. So, proprioception is your child's ability to perceive their body in space to gravity. And so their body's ability to naturally maintain an upright posture, especially nowadays when we have so many people sitting at computers, slunched over, looking at the iPods or their phones, etc. We want to create an environment where the proprioceptive strength is as strong as possible. Well, why is that important? The spine itself is what protects the delicate spinal cord and the nerves on the inside. So if you think the brain sits up here, the spinal nerves run through this spinal canal, and those go out to all the different parts of the body. It controls all function, all healing, and all development. So all function is controlled by the nerve system. So your heart is beating, your lungs are breathing, you're digesting food and making brand new toenails and kidney cells out of the food that you ate yesterday. It's pretty amazing, really. And then you have all healing occurs from control of the nerve. So if a nerve isn't going to, if you think about it, if you cut the nerve to a tooth, that tooth dies. It can no longer heal from the stresses of life, and so it dies. Anytime there's pressure on a nerve, whatever's on the other end of the nerve can't heal as efficiently. And then, of course, all development. A baby grows and develops more in the first year of life than they will over the next 10 years of their life. So that first year of life, it's absolutely critical to protect that spinal cord and those spinal bones. The other thing is the baby's ability to crawl and lift their head while on their tummy are important for neuromuscular development. That crawling promotes a cross-body patterning, which will help with their gait pattern. It helps them with their balance. It helps them with their spatial orientation. It'll definitely help them with being with their sports, with their athleticism, but even just overall their general positional aptitude, I like to call it. Lying on their tummy and looking around is one way that the child's spinal curves actually develop. The crawling and that cross crawl reflex is a way that the spinal curves develop. So the moral of the story, well, I know that it's convenient. I have 4 kids myself. I know it's convenient, the jolly jumper. It's just not a good thing until the baby has total development of these curves, which doesn't happen until after they're able to crawl, to sit, and pull themselves to a standing position. Before that time, a jolly jumper should never be used for more than 8 to 10 minutes at a time, not the 2 to 3 hours, which is sometimes typical. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, send me an email. Love to hear from you. Thank you.